Oh my God.
You're
I don't know what's there.
Have you seen it? If you have, it didn't come.
All right, let me read.
Did you want to do
Has no one got it?
Anyone got it?
No, I didn't.
I've got it, I've got it, I've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite small on there too.
Sometimes.
Okay, after all that hilarity,
Yeah.
welcome, welcome, welcome to this public workshop on fees and charges for our new facility.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. So just to start with a bit of a sort of very brief theme set out on sort of what's gone before. When we first started working on the operations for this new facility, the board and council at the time gave us really clear direction about making the facility as accessible as possible to our community and to get as many of our community members through the doors in the first year as possible, and also to focus on a 70-30 split, focusing on community usage. So we had a paper come to this board in November with the first cut of fees and charges, and the board felt at the time that the community rates were all good and recommended them to council, and council ratified those fees and charges to be used for the first year of operation. But the board felt that commercial rates needed a bit more thought and some more work, and we were to come and hold a workshop and discuss the commercial charges, have a look at purpose, performance targets and usage. And so that's what we're here to talk about today.
So the purpose is to sort of reflect that decision from the council around the operation of 70% community, 30% commercial. The performance indicators will be reported on a 6-monthly basis. And these indicators will include revenue versus expenses, occupancy, utilisation rates, attendance numbers, community engagement, feedback, and highlights and future opportunities. One of the community board members asked for usage projections. Pretty difficult to do at this stage, as we're not really sure exactly what the uptake is going to be with the new facility. The council decision obviously is to integrate and encourage community use first, and that will be the foundation that we start from. We currently have a number of conferences and events penciled for the remainder of 2026, and also we started working on the program for 2027. So fees and charges, the prices below are based upon the research carried out by the community experience manager, tourism, Central Otago destination team as well, and some of my experiences working in the sector over the last kind of 10, 20 years. Now, just to note with the fees and charges below, that it doesn't include entire event packages. So these prices aren't designed for us to go to a conference market and go, if you want your conference here, it's going to cost this much. It's more pricing that reflects the dry hire. So if you want to come in and hire the theatre, it is going to cost you this much for this amount of gear with this amount of staff. Anything over and above that will cost you more. Okay. And also what I've inserted within this, which is kind of standard for these sorts of things, is a simple discount line, just to give you an example of targeted programming. So for example, if the community board decides, hey, we really, really want more musicals or conferences here, then we can develop a discount line to try and encourage that and go to market with that as well. The ones in red, obviously, already community rates confirmed by the Cromwell Community Board. And going down, starting with the auditorium, I've rejigged some of these from the initial application from Jen and those guys, but it pretty much follows the same, where we have half-day rates, we have full-day rates, pack-in rates. Some of the spaces have hourly rates, some of them don't. Essentially, what we're trying to do is encourage as much use as possible and maximise that dollar spend, particularly in the corporate side of things. We've done a lot of comparisons with other venues around the region as well. The I suppose the inclination is to go, they can go, we've spent so much money on this place, you know, let's charge $8,000 a day or something like that. The problem with that is that you actually discourage use, you place barriers in the way. So what we've tried to do is create a series of packages which sort of make it accessible to corporate groups, but also ensure that we're paying for the building and we're building up a good base of living. As we go through, I don't know if you want me to list all of the different prices and things like that, but as you can see in the auditorium ones, we've got a packing day, which is essentially a setup day, full day hire, 9 AM to 11 PM, half day hire, packing day and event the same day, use of foyer, dark days. So we've got a rate for commercial hire and also for local business and private hire as well. And then basically the same pattern all the way through with the commercial kitchen, the XL flex space, the conference space, the large meeting space / dance studio, the RSA room and the small meeting space as well, and the research room.
Can I just ask, what's the dark days? Is that like if a show comes to town for 5 shows over 8 days? Is it those 3 days?
So they go, they do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they don't do shows Sunday, Monday,
Yeah,
but then they go Tuesday, Saturday.
yeah.
So,
So they can stay set up and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what might be just another interesting fact as well, just in the finance sort of model that we sort of share, somewhere around about that 1.5 million to run this facility. To break that down into a day rate, that's about $4,000 a day, including all of your staff and all of that kind of stuff. So just when you're looking through these fees and charges, you know, if you're looking to try and cover the operating costs as we go through the commercial part of fees and charges.
Yeah, pretty full noise.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like just that proposal there of the auditorium at $3,500 for a day in one space in commercial, it's going to cover itself pretty quickly on a day rate, you know. And then just to sort of put Jen and Will were both saying around the 70-30 split, just the part of that was when we were, obviously we were pre-election at that point and we went through a lot of resolutions that were ratified through council, just in case things did change from a board point of view. So I think if we are looking to change that financial model as well, we would need to bring a paper back to resolve some of that stuff too. So just having that same lens as we go through this, yeah. But I think what the team are sort of proposing here overall does still meet your 70-30 split, and I guess at the end of, you'll have 6-month reviews, and at the end of 2 years, you'll have a full review of how the whole facilities operate.
Probably fair to say the 70-30 split is not conducive to payment. Like,
Yeah,
for that, I would guess that decision's been made, whether it was conscious or not, that
Yeah.
decision's been made.
yeah. And that, remember, that was based on how we run our other community facilities like our swimming pools. So they sit at around $2 million a year to run, and they get about 800,000 in revenue now. That is fine, but that's sort of where that was based too.
You mentioned Molly as well, so like the example that David gave of a day rate of 3.5 for a corporate gig. On top of that, they're going to want the foyer for their drinks, so that's another $1,500. On top of that, they're going to want the breakout spaces, so that's another couple of grand as well.
And they're going to want the catering.
Catering plus extra AV services plus all those things, so it slowly starts to add up when you build those packages. But a lot of that around that is expectation management of going, getting it for a day, but you're getting that. And the public will still be able to come and use the facilities as we see fit.
Having said that, I think there should be a simple answer to the simple question of how much it costs to bring a conference here.
Absolutely, and that's something that we have to build though with catering suppliers and also with AV suppliers. And the EDNZ conference, we've got a familiar with line events from Auckland tomorrow. We're going to start to build that. But it's kind of again that chicken and egg thing. We can't build an offering without knowing exactly what the costs will be. And at the moment, we don't know what those costs are.
I think the other thing to add to that is somebody will come and say, hey, I'd love a conference. It's going to be 3 days. It's going to be breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's going to be 200 delegates, all of that kind of stuff. Well, and his team will work through that with what does that conference look like, and then that proposal will go out. And that's probably, it is a new thing for CODC, because in the past you would book council chambers like this, pay you $50. Happy days, and if you want tea and coffee, that's another $3 per person. And that's about the limit of our hospitality that we offer at CODC right now, where we're going to potentially a full set package.
Yeah,
And so when people do put their requests in, we've got multiple in now, various levels, where I just want some scones and biscuits through to a fully capable event, you know, so.
I can imagine some events are gonna want exclusive use of the facility. So can we shut off the museum to have access from externally?
Please think you've designed it, yeah, well done, good foresight.
Yeah,
But if somebody wants exclusive use, they have to pay for it.
yeah,
You know, I mean, that's when you get into the discussion around, it's a community facility.
yeah,
Okay, you're having your conference, whether it's security concerns or they just don't want to mess with the riffraff,
yeah,
then they have to pay for that privilege.
yeah,
Yeah, and so if that means you've got, you'd have to recompense your leases and your cinema and your cafe bar,
unless of course they're writing on the deal.
unless they're part of what they've got.
First offering to go
Yeah,
very cafe, but if it's a coffee conference, they might have their own suppliers they want to use.
yeah,
And that's when you say, okay, you can use your own suppliers, but the cost will be this, so that we can pay our guys.
Yep.
Yeah. I suppose the point to make is, well, there are so many variables that we have, that's why we have to start with a dry hire
yeah,
kind of fee and then build out from there. If I was to go through all of the variables, it would be, 100 pages long, and I don't think we would capture everything.
And then I think we would solve everything here and what would William's team do, you know, so.
Yeah. So that's the thing, like if you do have to ask a question, then it gives you an excuse to have that open discussion with the person to tailor an event.
Yeah, so a lot of say Wanaka or Queenstown, they'll go, yeah, but it's $6,000 a day, but you get $40 per head catering and things like that. Well, I know from experiences that question that comes back is, what is the catering? Oh, it's the coffee. Well, we want barista coffee.
Yeah,
So that $40 a head then moves to 80. So, all of those things need to be taken into
It's a
account.
bloody expensive cup of coffee,
It's a good cup of coffee though.
$40 per head, yeah.
Yeah,
Louis.
No, that's a bit distasteful, I think. Okay. He's talking about the monkey poo coffee from Bali.
Oh,
It's very expensive.
It is very expensive, Louis. Okay, I think, looking at this, I'm still looking at the local ones, thinking that they're looking really good still. Haven't wobbled on that thinking, so that's probably good. And the commercials certainly look, like the local private event and the commercial both look like they're more in where we need them to be for those bits. Thank you for breaking it down in terms of that's your full day, but then if you need it the day before and you need it the day after, then these are the costs for you to, to be able to do that. The pack in an event the same day, can you explain what that is? Because you've got a pack in day which costs $500 and then a full day hire, which is $3,500, but pack in and event the same day is only $2,000.
so packing would generally, say for a conference, would generally take 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah,
So if you've got somebody who turns up and goes, oh, I just want to do a 2 hour.
pack in and then a half day event.
Yeah, a half day event, well, not even a half day.
Yeah.
But what they'll try and do is they'll try and go, look, it's only a half day event, we don't need that time. Actually, you do need that time and we will need more staff to get it up and ready by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And this won't be exhaustive either. We're going to have other people come over in the coming months.
Yeah.
That we do need to update our fees and charges and some of the things that we've talked about in there. Is, say the lighting package, for example, we've obviously front loaded some of that technical spec into the building, which would be obviously pretty well available for most of our community holders, but we're going to charge commercial holders for the use of that AP and that technology that's in there. So, and even things like we haven't looked at Wi-Fi charges yet and stuff. Sometimes you have, would you like building Wi-Fi included with your conference? Yes or no? Things like that. And there are all of the different variables that will be pushed out over the next probably 12 to 24 months.
Yeah.
We'll know a lot more after the first year.
Yeah. Probably after the first month, I'll be, yeah, oh, there we go.
The movie theatre,
Yes,
that doesn't feature on here, so that's worth.
currently negotiating that with the operator. We haven't signed a contract with them yet. And it would be similar to the museum, because I mentioned we're going to get some blasting road corporate events in the museum with gallery space. Those are conversations that we have to have.
Cool. It looks on track to me. Thank you.
So it was sort of, I guess, the next step is to, again, go
Formalise
to formalise it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just with these, we'll just kind of continue this going forward with.
Yeah.
Next. 6 months, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys, nice work. Did you have anything to add, so?
Sorry.
Just from, and just get from, I guess, a tourism point of view and just what he sees in the district.
No, I think the main consideration, which I know, Will's been factoring in is, you know, as the facility builds, we've got, you know, that is the catalyst around the accommodation mix and things like that. So again, it's just that we don't price ourselves out of competing with those in the spaces around us. Because that is our challenges. We've got a finite mix currently of our accommodation sector. So that is something that where you look at some of the options in Queenstown, where you're getting accommodation and conference space on site. So that's a self-dated for them that we don't have yet in the space, but we do have within the periphery of the whole, I think what I can see in that price in the right direction.
Cool.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you, Tim.